Are you a fan of Star Wars, Marvel, Jurassic Park, The Office, or Disney and Pixar movies? Or do you just want a sleek, comfortable patterned shirt? Then you need to check out Roosevelts.com. Roosevelt's clothing is the most eye-catching and comfortable clothing available on the market. From button-ups to hoodies, hats, and more, Roosevelt's truly has something for everyone. Check them out today at Roosevelts.com. That is RSVLTS.com. And when you do, make sure to use promo code SWOGGLE to save 20% off your order. Made for those with a love of sports, pop culture, and all of the above, this is clothing for the bold and fun for those who dare mighty things. So that's promo code SWOGGLE to save 20% off new, clearance, and restocks at Roosevelts.com. Hey guys, welcome once again. Another episode of Going Postl. That's George, I'm Dylan, and this show is brought to you by our friends at the Mad Cat Beard Care Company. Friends, right before we clicked the record button, George asked, George asked, do you want me to send you a rundown? And I go, absolutely not. I think in the year that we've done this show now,
24 public episodes and then a year and change of a Patreon show.
In the year that we've done this, I think George has sent me 5. He's probably sent me more rundowns. I've looked at 3.
I've sent you the entire first 6 months of us doing the podcast. I sent you the notes every week.
I've looked at
and
3.
you're just like, no, I don't need them. And then things like this happen because we don't even open the show with the Mad Cat ad. We open the show with the Roosevelt's ad. But
the reason I looked at the 3 because he reminded me, hey, we gotta get better at staying on track for ads and for show run and all of this. So I looked at the 3. I don't look at him anymore. He knows not to send them to me anymore. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. George, how are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. This opening in and of itself is going to be quite the edit. But in addition to Mad Cat and all of the wonderful beard care products that they make, we also wanted to let you know that this podcast is also brought to you by our friends over at the Roosevelt's brand. Make sure to go to rsvlts.com. Use code SWOGGLE to save yourself 20% on your order. And you hear the ad at the beginning of the show. They're the most comfortable, most amazing shirts. The pitch fest is over. Here's what we're doing today, guys. Today we are covering all things Anonymous Raw General Manager. We'll give some history leading up into the Swoggle reveal. Swoggle's got his own stories. I do believe that there is a throwback to something that we may have talked about in a previous episode, but we'll get into that a little later. But of course, make sure to follow along on all forms of social media at Going Postl Pod. Follow Dylan Postl, on all forms of social media as well. YouTube.com/Dylan Postl. You get free video versions of this podcast. DylanPostl.com. That's the one-stop shop for everything. Both merch stores, his Big Cartel and his pro wrestling tees, the Twitch, the whatnot, swoggleauction.com. Get yourself a free $10 credit over on whatnot. Oh man, this is going to be a long one. I have a feeling. So I don't want to dilly-dally.
I think it's going to be a quick one. Guys, let's talk about Mad Cat Beard Care. They make my beard feel soft, silky smooth, and they can do the same for yours. A one-man show since 2019, Mad Cat uses a portion of their sales to care for local stray cats. That money covers their medical bills and finds them safe spaces and forever homes.
Their products are made to order with vitamins and all natural oils that promote strong, healthy hair and moisturize your skin as well. They've got exclusive scents for myself, as well as other wrestlers like my good pal Brian Myers, Mr. Kennedy, and Ring of Honor legend Delirious. Make sure to check out all of their scents, along with my Swoggled scent, which has notes of lavender and sage. I absolutely love this scent. And guys, we've got an exclusive offer for listeners of Going Postl. Use promo code SWOGGLED to save yourself 15% on your orders only at madcatbeardcare.com. That is Swoggled with a D on the end to save yourself 15% on your orders at madcatbeardcare.com. Guys, that's 15% with promo code SWOGGLed. And remember, the Mad Cat makes a happy beard.
The television debut of the anonymous Raw general manager was June 21st, 2010, on an episode of Raw, obviously, after Bret Hart was fired as the general manager. Most notably, Michael Cole acted as the voice for the Raw general manager when he was reading from a laptop placed on a podium. There was one time where the anonymous Raw general manager appeared on the cutting edge, and it was just a computerized digital voice, and then Edge destroyed the laptop.
Edge to edge.
And then every now and then, the anonymous Raw general manager would drop hints as to who their identity could possibly be, using popular catchphrases or dropping obvious hints, but they were widely received as red herrings and just kind of like deception tricks. Then
I've never eaten herring. Have you?
How I was putting the notes together, and I went, don't put the term red herring in, because Dylan is going to say something about red herring. He's either going to be like, you know, George, that's a really stupid term. Why is it called a red herring? I was putting the notes together, and immediately just went, he's going to do it.
This is how I know how well we know each other and work together. My second thing was going to be, why the fuck is it called a red herring?
I don't know. know.
I've never had
I don't know, and I didn't think to include it in the notes, even though I had a feeling it was going to come up. The anonymous Raw general manager was in place from June 21st, 2010 to July of 2011, when WWE made the jump over into Triple H being the authority figure with the vice president of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. The anonymous Raw general manager returns on Raw 1000, along with the other previous Raw general managers. And then on July 9th, 2012, it was revealed that none other than our very own Dylan Postl, going then by Hornswoggle, was, in fact, the anonymous Raw general manager.
This is during a time where I was doing nothing. This would have been right post DX, where I was just randomly showing up with the great Khali or Natalia, or just doing random things, I'm pretty sure. And so I had nothing, and it was just getting paid to sit in catering at this point. While that but yet I was doing house shows and random things on house shows. It was just a very weird time. This is this is easily the worst time in my run with WWE. Like the most frustrating, most just like, man, why am I here kind of time with the company. I loved being there. I loved still living my dream and being on TV here and there, very, very randomly and kind of out of nowhere. But none of it was like worth a damn, if that makes sense. It's so like, it's crazy to think now. Like I look back on it and say, man, you're still earning a paycheck. You're still being on TV here and there. Like you're still a WWE superstar. Why were you so like not jaded, but just like unhappy? And I don't know. So this is one of those times where I would go, the writers had to have hated me. I talk about it in the book. The writers definitely hated me after a while because I would just blow them up every week with a new pitch and a new pitch and a new pitch. And so much so that one week, like after a while, they just said, you keep coming to us with a pitch after pitch after pitch. Obviously, you don't believe in any of them. And that pissed me off even more. And now I'm like, no, I believe in all of them. But if you're not going to receive them, I'm going to keep thinking and keep trying things. And
try to find the one that resonates with them.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, and then I finally realized maybe they aren't pitching them. Maybe they aren't bringing them up. So I had this idea of, because I just had a thought of like, man, what if I overtook a general manager role? And I was like, it would just be something. It would finally be something. And they were doing this promo class. And Freddie Prinze Jr., the Hollywood actor turned WWE writer, when he got hired on, he like started these promo classes. And the first class was like, I remember it was like Miz and Kofi and I forget who else. But that one was done. And then there was a second one. And I asked to be a part of promo class because I wanted to show that I could talk if given the ball. And I feel like I can. And I feel like given the ball, I'm decent at it. Not the greatest, but I'm decent at it. And all they kept saying was, you don't talk on the show. Well, yeah. Well, let me talk in promo class to show I can do it. That's my point in all this. So finally, it was like the third or fourth like iteration of promo class that I was invited in. And I was so pumped and so happy. So at that point, I was doing promo class before the shows. It was before TV started. It was like writers meeting and then promo class. And then we would do rehearsal or something. I forgot the schedule, but it was like late morning. We would get to the building early for promo class, a group of us. And I remember it was David Otunga was in that class. Big Show was in that class. JTG was in that class. I forget who else, but I remember those ones specifically. And Vince would be in there and Freddie Prinze Jr. and a bunch of the writers, almost all the writers, they would all be in there. And so I was like, man, I'm going to knock this out of the park. And they would give me things. It was almost like kind of like at times, whose line is it anyway? But take it more seriously. Like, here's a scenario, cut the promo and make it work. In my frustration, going back a bit, I just decided to go into Vince's office myself. And I pitched an idea. I said, hey, I typed it up. I remember typing up the idea for once and not just having it in my head because I wanted to give him the written, the typed up idea week to week to week to week to week. It was like a 3-month idea of what I had. And I finally came out and found my voice and turned heel. And I was just playing a joke on all of these stupid parents with their stupid kids, a la Big Nick, which we'll hit on.
That's the throwback I was alluding to earlier.
I knew this morning I woke up, I go, shit, we got to talk about Big Nick again.
Yeah, we do.
I had the whole transcript. I was waiting because there was always a line in front of Vince's office, and I was waiting my turn. And I finally went into the office, and I pitched him the idea essentially of Big Nick without being from Jersey, of this guy that finally turned heel because I found my voice and I was playing a joke on everyone, and I was running the ship. And everyone.
What would the transition have been? Would you have still been Swoggle?
I don't know.
Or Hornswoggle? Or
I didn't have the idea of a name or anything. I was going to be a heel commissioner, but and now all of these superstars on my brand had to listen to me in this huge Napoleon complex-esque thing because otherwise they'd be fired. And I remember,
and there's a history of people who had, wronged you in the past that you could
100%.
would come up to you and ask for favors. They'd be like, "Oh, couldn't help but notice that you weren't so nice to me before that." Like it's
I remember specifically writing in the transcript in the transcript. I keep calling it a transcript. I don't know why, but in the write up, Big Show and I have an interaction backstage, and he pushes my buttons and I suspend him, and it's like this big thing, and to show the power I have in that role, and I don't care about the size difference. And Vince is like, "You think you can pull it off? Write me a promo." So the next week, I wrote 3 promos. I wrote an in-ring one and 2 backstages dealing with superstars. And I walked right into his office. I delivered the promos, and he was happy. He was happy with it. Oh, I think we're onto something here. Great. Okay. But then what? And then what? So then there was really nothing. I heard nothing. So then like 2 weeks later at promo class, we're all sitting there with our notebooks. And he goes, Hornswoggle, come up. Okay. He goes, you're the new GM of SmackDown. Okay. And I remember delivering a line that I still use to this day, randomly, like when I just am being asshole Dylan. And I remember Big Show had his feet up on the table because he just didn't care to be in promo class. And I yelled at him and I said, you might be big, but nowadays when I stand on my wallet, I'm looking you right in the eye. And I remember like it got this, oh, okay. And Big Show like played along with me for this thing. And I remember just targeting him in this promo, and I got done with it, and the fucking place clapped, and it was awesome. I was so freaking happy because I got to do what I wanted to do in this promo class and show the writers, show Vince himself, show Freddie Prinze that I was pitching this to and pitching these ideas to, all of this, that, hey, I can do this. I know I can do this. And then again, heard nothing. And nothing. And nothing. And so I thought it was dead. I literally thought the whole idea and everything was dead. And I just kind of gave up. Once again, I gave up. Because I was like, you know what? It's not happening. I'm done. I'm done caring about it. And at that point, like, I would go mentally. This is a really horrible mental time for me, too. Because I was like, man, why am I caring so much if they don't? Why do I care? Why am I putting effort into ideas and into possible things for me if they don't even want them? And it was just very, very frustrating.
Do you remember, so aside from this mob boss Napoleon complex idea that you pitched, which now we affectionately refer to as Big Nick from Jersey, do you remember any of the other ideas that you like went back and pitched to the writers?
Every one of them revolved around me talking. Every one of them.
But was it just like you was like instead of being a mob boss, you were like a different character? Was it just all character work? Was it like backstory and like setting it up? Or
this was the only one that I really had a lot of thought and care for. Yeah, this was the only one that I really, really cared about truly. Because I thought it would be so different to see me as a heel character and see me as this Napoleon complex heel running the show that everyone has to listen to, otherwise they're gone. And like I say, I still remember to this. I remember doing the promo in promo class and pushing Big Show's feet off the table and then delivering a line about standing on my wallet. It's so like I remember it like it was yesterday, and like walking out of promo class, finally being happy and being like, I fucking did it. Like this is gonna happen now. It has to, because everyone loved it. Everyone loved it, and then it didn't, and it didn't, and it didn't until I'm sure you have the date. What was the date that the GM was revealed?
July 9th, 2012.
That was on Raw. I found out that Friday or Saturday, I found out.
Is it a phone call, an email?
I was eating dinner at my parents' house. I remember Lan was there, and I saw one of the writers come up. And he calls me, he goes, hey. I said, oh, what's up? He goes, all right, we need you to learn a Jersey accent. I go, excuse me? He goes, need you to learn a Jersey accent. I go, for what? He goes, well, we're going with you with the storyline of you as the anonymous GM. I go, okay. I said, but what is this? And he goes, well, kind of like a mobster from Jersey. I said, like the baby. The first thing I thought was like the baby from Roger Rabbit. Goes, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we're thinking. So I go, okay, but how is this happening? And he sent me the write-up for it. And it was going to be a reveal from under the ring. And then I was going to do the whole promo and everything. And I was like, man, I gotta do this stupid Jersey accent. So I remember hanging up and like finishing dinner at my parents' really fast and rushing out of there and just like studying the baby from Roger Rabbit the whole weekend, like all of his scenes, because that's all I knew.
What an interesting tape watch that must have been. Just Dylan like watching the scene, rewind it, watching the scene, rewind it.
That's what it was. It was literally that's what it was. And it's not. I feel like he doesn't have that many scenes in Roger Rabbit. So it was just the same. And I was pumped. But then I knew in my mind while doing this, I didn't have a Jersey accent. I'm not good at accents at all. I'm horrible at them. So I couldn't get it down. And I remember it was like Sunday night. I go, man, I don't got this. I don't got this accent. And he goes, like, how bad? I go, well, not great. He goes, well, do you think you could pull it off for Monday? I said, it's Sunday night. Like, I don't think so. So we get to the show Monday. And I remember the writer comes right up to me and goes, here's the script. How's it going? I go, not good. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not good. Like, they were so stuck on this Jersey accent that's all I cared about. And I didn't know why. I truly, to this day, I still don't know why. I don't know why. I'm a Wisconsin kid. I'm not.
Can you try to do it now?
Not a chance. Guys, I will never do that again. It's like a weird, like, it pisses me off so much that I had. So here's my thoughts on this. This I've never talked about, ever. It was the first time I had something. I had my idea. Finally here. Finally here. It was something I pitched, something I wanted, something I was really, really pushing for, and they accepted it in a time when I was doing jack shit in all reality. And it got taken from me because I couldn't do something. Not because they changed their mind, but because I couldn't do something. And it's because I couldn't do something that they wanted and that they visualized. But it's such like I had this, like, and who knows where it could have went. It could have been 1 week in all reality. But it also could have been another full stage of my career in WWE of a heel manager, a heel persona. Who knows? Who knows where that would have led? So it's such a thing, like, that day in my mind is viewed so horribly. And it's so weird to say that, but it's such like a black thumbprint on my run, I guess. It's very weird. It's like one of the most disgusting days in my career. And yet I dressed up as a cow and Mae Young gave birth to me. But not being able to do a Jersey accent. You know what I mean? Mentally, it's just such a kick in the nads. Can we say nads?
Yeah. Dylan,
I just
you
said
have
fuck.
said way worse things on this podcast.
I
Like
said
I
guess I don't know why I questioned the word nads.
We've been doing this podcast for so long. Nads is the word that you're worried about? Like, what? What?
You know what I mean, though? Like,
it's losing you?
It's such like a, I don't know. I've never really thought about it because I literally try to block it out. I try to block that day out at times because it's so, like I said, I had it. I had this opportunity. And then I remember doing the promo. I talked about it in the Kofi episode, like the interview with him. And like, I've talked about it so many times, where I did the promo and Triple H is right there with Johnny at ringside and he asks me to do it again. And I'm on the mic and he asks me to do it again. And I'm on the mic. And then the last time It was so bad that he cut the mic, and I knew it was over then, because then he just says to me, "All right, you and the writer Nick, work it out backstage all day. Let's try to get it done." And so I just kept going over it, and I didn't have it. I finally said to Nick, I said, "Hey man, I don't think this is gonna work." And I remember saying that I don't think this is gonna work with the accent. I said, "Can we do it without the accent?" And he went to Triple H and Vince or whoever was, and came back and goes, "Here's the new script." And I go, "Okay." I look at it, and it was what happened on the show. And that's when I remember taking the script and throwing it down and just walking off and going, here we go again. Literally, it was such a here we go again moment of, okay, what's the answer to the storyline? Hornswoggle, which is great. And again, in all reality, I should be happy. I should be, because I'm on television in a story. Whether that story sucks or not, I'm in a story now, or I'm just on TV. There's so many people in the back, usually me at that time, that aren't on TV. But it was such a kick in the pants. Like, it sucked. So
let's talk about the actual, like, what actually ends up happening. You're under the ring.
Yep.
Take us through it.
I remember I was like, okay, we're going to do this under the ring thing. I believe, and again, this is so blocked out in my mind, that
I can fill in the blanks for you.
Yep. The thing, Jerry Lawler, or Santino's going to find out who the anonymous GM is. And he comes out, and he's out with the I was going to say Dr. Seuss. Nope. It's, what's the detective?
Sherlock Holmes.
Yep. Not Dr. Seuss. How my mind works. With the Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass and hat and everything. I remember that. And he's going to find the GM. But I don't know why he looked under the ring. I still to this day don't know why. Like, because I remember the thing went off, and then he was going to find it, and he went under the ring, and I pulled him under the ring or something. Oh!
So,
was he just standing ringside and I took him down?
Yeah.
That was it. So he didn't look under. He was just standing ringside. I tripped him. I pulled him under. Ended up pulling back out, and there's me.
Yep. King pulls Santino out, and you are on top of him with the laptop.
Was that the one where I had my face in his butt?
Yep.
I remember getting tweets about that.
Yep. That's that.
Hell of a picture, guys. Look it up on the Google. And I remember getting the segment done and getting to the back and just literally walking right to the locker room, defeated. Because I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, there was this multiple year storyline, and that was the payoff. For no reason. And it was like, oh, he was the whole time. And then nothing. Literally nothing after that.
You can't tell. I just watched it before, and then I just had it on the other monitor. You can't tell that you are in a not great place, that you're upset about it. Like, it doesn't show that you're upset about it at all when it's actually happening.
Thank God, because I sure as hell was.
I mean, that makes sense, but it doesn't show. You're a master of your craft.
Master crafter.
Master crafter, just not the accent guy. It's fine.
Literally, I just thought about it and I was like, I don't know the amount of money it would take to have me do the promo I wrote or the promo that they had for me in the Jersey accent. I don't know if there's...
You have it?
I would have to go through emails. I bet you I do. I'm going to have to look now. I bet I have it. It has to be in my email somewhere.
We're setting the stage for something. It may be an email that you were just like, I'm so mad about this.
There's a good chance
I deleted this
There's
email.
a good chance that Monday
100%.
Good chance that Monday night I deleted it. we're going to make a Big Nick shirt. I just thought of that. We have to make a Big Nick shirt. I have the idea. I'm going to pitch to George right after this.
Doesn't your friend Justin have a Big Nick shirt already?
That son of a bitch, Justin.
I distinctly remember you mentioning it on this podcast.
Oh, he did. Oh, that one. I have another idea though for pro wrestling tees. I have another idea. It's gonna happen. Support ProWrestlingTees.com/Swoggle. We have some awesome new designs coming up. Awesome new designs on there right now, including podcast exclusive ones. Quick ad. See, ad reads. I'm good at these. It was once again like I was doing nothing. I can laugh about it now. I can laugh about Big Nick ... from Joyzy. But man, it sucked. It sucked because once again, they lost faith in me. I felt not only did I let myself down, but that I let them, the company down. They gave me this idea and I fucking hit a bunt when I needed to hit a home run. Baseball term.
So these are the sports references that people have come to know and what? Oh my God. Tangents here brought to you by Going Postl. We're now, guys, we're ditching the wrestling concept. This is now a sports debate concept podcast where Dylan's going to go, hey, what's the deal with hat tricks in hockey? How does that work?
Don't get me fucking started on hockey. Don't write it down. Don't write it down. No.
I was wondering what the hot take for today was going to be.
I got a good one. I think we do this one.
Oh, then absolutely hockey's getting added onto the list.
Yeah, it truly was though another time, the biggest time where I felt like I let the company down with an idea they had for me. I didn't really mess up until then with something that they pitched me. And so it was really a moment that sucked for me. I don't let it affect me too much, I will say, but I let it does come up in my head. Like I'm at a point in my life and a point in my career where I go, would I have had an even longer run as a heel manager, as a heel thing, or would it have turned babyface and would have been an even longer run? And I don't like to think that way. I don't. It's a very not me way of thinking. Have you
ever considered taking like you know how you have like an acting coach and stuff like that? Have you ever done anything for accents?
Nope. I don't. Peek behind the curtain at Dylan Postl. I don't live in the past a lot because I can't change it. I literally can't change it. I got to deal with what I got now, and I got to deal with what's going on currently. But that is one of those things where I think here and there, like when it pops randomly up in my mind, as like I go, oh, man, what could that have led to? Who knows? Again, it could have been a week. It could have been that night and then done, or who knows where it would have led to. But I don't like to think that way too much. I really don't, because I truly feel when you live in the past on things, it can only bring your mental health down, and like in a negative way, and not thinking positively about how awesome your life is today. God, that
I think would really be cool.
Deep. There we go. It
happens.
This week's
That's
deep
your
thought.
Heartfelt moment.
This week's deep, the heartfelt Postl moment this week.
You know what I think would be cool? Not necessarily saying that this is something that you have to do, for next episode or anytime soon. Maybe it would be cool if you wrote out where, like, you have the reveal, it happens, and then you write out almost like a story of what happens, and you write it from the perspective of this mob boss GM. Like almost like a short story of like from the perspective of you.
I remember I pitched green suits, like actual suits, but still green because I'm a leprechaun, guys. But not like my normal green stuff that I had on, but like actual. And also because I was like, man, that means WWE would pay for these green suits every week, and I would just have a shitload of green suits.
They would? I thought wrestlers are responsible to get their own gear.
But for something like this, the first couple they would have to pay for. They would pay for to provide, and then I would provide some. But those would be like cheap ones that I would tax right off.
Dylan Postl, savvy businessman.
Eric Postl taught me well.
Just thinking of that Office, or not The Office. Did you ever see? Did you ever watch Schitt's Creek?
Landon made me.
You just write it off. It's a tax write-off. You just write it off. Do you know what that means? No, but it's what people do. You just write it off.
Landon made me watch Schitt's Creek, and I said, "Man, I'm gonna hate this because it's so dry at times, but it's really, really good. I really ended up enjoying it.
It's a great show.
Yeah,
great show. But yeah, I think that would be a cool workshop exercise.
Okay.
Like write down a few paragraphs of like where you saw the character going and what you thought.
I might have that.
You know, just like write the story.
I might have that in my email, to be honest. I'm gonna have to
think that'd be a cool
email
thing
at that date. I don't even know does email go back that far?
Yeah, email goes back as long as you have it. Just search the
date
around that date.
All right. Man, I might uncover some things and some really shitty ideas.
Oh, that would be such a good episode.
Cool episode. Ideas that I had that didn't pan out.
All right. So you said that you have an idea for a hot take. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will jump into the hot take for this week's episode. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the point of the episode where Dylan takes us through a hot take. And for those of you who are not familiar with the hot take, this is a section where Dylan has the space to vent about something that typically the general public finds enjoyable or accepts. And Dylan has a strong hatred or dislike for. In the past, we have covered bacon on burgers. We have covered toast. We have covered koozies. And this week, Dylan has a topic that he would like to present to us. Dylan, what is the hot take for this week?
Walking. Even when I could feel my feet, I never understood leaving your house and just walking. And guys, this isn't for exercise. If you want the exercise, sure. But you're just going for a walk to relax? That's not relaxing. Relaxing is sitting your tush on a couch and turning on the TV. Relaxing is playing the Xbox. Relaxing isn't walking. I don't understand it. We are in 2023. Beautiful scenery. Take a drive. I love going for a drive. If you want exercise, there are these things called bicycles. 2 wheels. Still the same amount of exercise, I would say. Cover more distance. See even more scenery. Bicycles. I hate seeing people. In my neighborhood, it's one thing. It's one thing. I enjoy it. I go on my porch. I see the neighbors. They're taking a walk with their dog. If you have a dog, it's one thing. You have to take the dog for a walk. If you're going to a park to just walk, it doesn't make sense to me. I truly don't understand the enjoyment of walking at all. You're going nowhere. If you want to go nowhere, go to the gym and walk.
That is literally wrong.
You're not.
I didn't go for a walk. If I didn't go for a walk on a treadmill, you go for a walk on a treadmill, you're going nowhere. I physically was moving from one location to another.
No. And then back. So you went nowhere.
Okay. Hear me out here. If you get in your car.
Yep.
And you go to pick up food.
Yep.
Or you go to Target
or
something.
Did you?
And you go there
Yep.
and you come back.
Yes. That
You went
you're
somewhere.
going to a place. You're not just walking to walk.
Okay. We went to a place.
Ah. Nope. Not accepting this. I'm not accepting
Dylan,
this.
how do you feel about hikes?
That's okay. Hikes are okay.
But it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
You're
traveling
driving to a
different
place.
terrain,
You're walking
George.
from one spot
It's different
to
terrain.
another spot and then back. Listen, I love hiking. I am just following your logic here.
No!
It's not, you're not going anywhere. You just said you're not going anywhere.
You're not
going
traveling
to a place and
through this
walking
cool
from
terrain.
one place
Hiking?
and back.
Hiking is interesting. Hiking is very interesting. Very interesting.
Walking can be interesting.
I love going for bike rides. Walking sounds stupid.
So you've never gone on a walk in the park?
Hell no. No.
Are you aware that riding your bike through the park and walking through the park is the same thing, just at a slightly slower speed?
Faster.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the speed is
I can see
different.
the scenery and more scenery in a quicker time. I got shit to do. I can't spend it walking.
I am so confused about the things that you hate.
This is one I will not. I'll die on this hill. I will die on this hill that walking is stupid. Not again, guys. I'm not talking like going through the mall. You go through the mall? You want to walk the mall? These 80-year-old mall walkers? They're great. I love them. They're seeing different stores. They're seeing different shops. They're getting exercise. I get it. They're not going around a block that they see every day.
I don't know, man.
I might not win this one.
I just don't understand.
But I win in my heart. So why do people walk? What were you saying? I'm very warm.
Sometimes people go for walks for exercise, which is true. You see people, they have like the little weights on their feet, or they have their.
Oh, let me talk about that. That's
my point first.
Oh, that pisses me off. Go ahead. No, I'm not going to rant about that.
They go for walks with their weights. But there's also an aspect to it, and the same could be said for bike riding. Some people just do it because fresh air. They want to be out of the house for a little bit.
Love it.
Take a break from staring at the monitor. Cool. So we are in agreement that going for a walk and riding your bike to get fresh air are both acceptable ways of exercising and getting fresh air. Just one is slightly slower.
If we're in 0 to 100% agreement on that, I am about a 68. I just don't understand it. And that might be it. Dylan Postl is a man that doesn't understand some things. I will admit that. I'm an adult. I can't admit that. I don't get why people choose to walk and go for walks. I just don't understand it.
Have you seen those treadmill shoe things?
The what?
You have not seen this? So there's these like no. You remember like Nickelodeon moon shoes?
Yes.
Remember those? Okay. So imagine that. Like that big contraption of a shoe.
Okay.
But there's like a tread on it that spins. And then
shitty rollerblades.
So, but they're always going. So like as you walk, you're like, it's almost like a personal, like the moving floor in like an airport.
Oh, I would like these.
It's like a portable version of that. That sounds like that's how you get Dylan Postl to go for walks. Cause that's like speed walking.
George, I tried rollerblading. Man, gotta be right before pandemic. I loved rollerblading as a kid. I tried it right before pandemic.
Skates, blades.
Blades, yeah.
Inline. Okay.
I've never been in so much pain after in my life.
It's a workout, man.
I loved it. Loved it. I could jump curbs. I would go to the skate park on them. I loved it.
Razor scooter kid?
Skateboard kid. More wheels.
Same. Same.
More
Skateboard
wheels,
kid as
more
well.
efficient.
All right. Well, we've done it all. We have raw general managered. We have hot taked with walking and everything in between. One quick final plug, DylanPostl.com. That's everything. Dylan, you've got swoggleauction.com. Make sure to go and get yourself a free $10 credit over on Whatnot at Going Postl and at Dylan Postl on all forms of social media. And, oh, by the way, happy anniversary.
Is this our anniversary of how many years?
No, it's luggage cart anniversary.
Oh, go fuck yourself.